Good day, everyone. Welcome to our BIS SDG culminating activity. I want to thank everyone for your continuous love and support for our students who have been embracing their greatness and potentials as they prepare, present, and polish these SDG initiatives. 19. We have started this journey. It was not easy. It has been all about how acting to change has benefited and contributed to the whole BAS community and to all the people as well. Various projects that dealt with sustainability of environmental resources, mental and social health improvement, though initially unfinished because of the rise of the pandemic, have still pushed through. It's all about saying yes. It's the beauty of saying yes. And so now, journey with us as we all take part of this collective solution. As an educator, the most challenging part about SDG in education is to making students being part of the process, to being part of the journey. For me, it was challenging because I was aware, and I'm still aware, that this generation is occupied to a lot of stuff. There's social media, there is the continuous rise of technology. I felt I had a judgment that they might not be interested about it, that they might not say yes to being involved in this journey of creating solutions to such SDG concerns. I also must ask myself if I am enough, if my sense of empowerment to them is already enough for them to say yes to it. Honestly, what really made me shift from resistance to acceptance is the fact that our students said yes to it. So I asked myself, who am I to say no? If my students said yes to this journey, to this challenge, and so it really feels fulfilling. Fulfilling that I was able to empower them, that I was able to make them say yes. But more than the empowerment, it's fulfilling that that you can create change. That you can be that person of leverage to creating change. One of the meaningful gains is seeing my co-mentors saying yes to it also, and I could see how they were very much willing to support the students, and also for the students, how much willing and how much trusting they are to being supported by the BIS mentors.
Benedictine International School, through our SDG initiatives, we give our students opportunities to facilitate their own learning that caters to their interests, intelligences, and their goals. And as such, it empowers them to take responsibilities for their own learning and create the results that they wish to see. Also using the system thinking tools and habits to digest or to be able to apply critical thinking skills in the information or the experiences that are available to them. To continue to provide a safe space for learning, but at the same time, we don't or we try to pass on the discovery to them instead of just giving them the answers and making sure that they are applying the lessons that they have learned in a way that matters to them. It empowers them that they're able to make a difference even at a young age. Failure is a part of success, and just to continue to learn from it and not allow it to define you or to stop you from going after your goals or being clear with your intention or finding your purpose.
I am aware of my carbon footprint, but I am not really conscious about it. When we introduced the SDG initiatives in BIS, we saw how eager the students were and how they want to contribute. I felt I too would want to be part of that change. For instance, during our Christmas bazaar, a group of students sold sandwiches to raise funds for a feeding program. Another group of students printed shirts saying, "Walang Pilipino ang dapat magutom. Hashtag food for everyone," to raise awareness on hunger and to add up to the funds for the feeding program. These only prove that if we work together, when we work together, anything is possible.
Hi, I'm Nacho Guerrero, representing the grade 10 class that prepared videos in SDG initiatives that tackle the topic that you will witness today, and are focusing on the utilization of eco-bricks in the production of environment-friendly stools. This topic is timely because we just celebrated Earth Day last week, and making eco-friendly furniture is one of the best ways of celebrating it. Also, this topic is significant to our present reality because plastic pollution is one of the biggest problems that we are facing now. It is one of the biggest contributors to global warming and climate change. On behalf of the Great 10 community, I am proud to present this SDG initiative.
Did you know that every person consumes at least one plastic bottle a day? And did you know that as of 2020, there are 7.8 billion people in the world? That means at least 7.8 billion plastic bottles in a day. In the United States alone, 60 million plastic bottles end up in landfills and incinerators every day. This equals to 420 million plastic waste in a week. That is a lot of plastic waste. Plastic is burned. It releases gases that are harmful to humans. It can cause coughing. Long-term exposure can also cause cancer. Burning can damage the ozone layer and contribute to the greenhouse effect. 30 million metric tons of plastic ends up in the ocean every year. Marine animals can become entangled in the plastic waste. So what can we do with all this plastic waste? Well, all you need is a plastic bottle, a pair of scissors, and lots of plastic materials. With these materials, we can make an eco brick! If we all work together in making eco bricks, we can reduce plastic waste. Then we can use these eco bricks in building eco-friendly schools.
Hello everybody! Today I'm going to teach you how to make an eco-friendly stool using eco bricks. We are going to need 7 plastic bottles, plastic waste that we can cut into stripe, a long stick, silicone glue, and any flat plastic surface. The first thing that we need to do is get the plastic waste and cut into stripes. Be careful when you're using scissors. Like this. Put the plastic strips into the bottle. Fill the bottle up and then use your stick to push down around the sides of the bottle. Make sure that all the plastic strips are compressed to make your eco bricks denser and stronger. If you're using 1.5 milliliter bottle, your eco brick should weigh 500 grams. Researchers had determined that an eco brick's density must be higher than 0.33 grams per milliliter. Ta-da! Now you have an eco brick. Keep making more until you have 7 eco bricks. To make the stool, you need to glue the bottles together using a silicone glue. Put it near the silicone glue and glue it like this. Make sure that their heights are same. After that, glue the flat plastic on the top 4 seats. Ta-da! Now you have an eco-friendly stool.
The stool is good and comfortable to sit on. It is very sturdy and it is a good way to recycle plastic waste.
What is eco bricks? An eco bricks is a plastic bottle packed with plastic strips.
Eco bricks can be used to reproduce various items, including furniture, garden wall, and other structures. What am I holding right now is an eco-friendly stool that we made using eco bricks.
Our crew made a survey on 50 individuals aged 13 to 19 years old and we got positive results. 38 out of 50 or 76% of the respondents are very interested in making eco-friendly stools using eco bricks. 47 out of 50 or 94% of the respondents feel that eco bricks can be a good replacement for non-reusable building materials. And 46 out of 50, or 92% of the respondents, feel that eco-bricks can help lessen plastic wastes.
We are not saying that eco-bricks will eliminate plastic waste nor will it solve climate change, but it can be a spark for a flame.
If we all work together,
If each of us do our part,
Even if it's as small as recycling old bottles.
We can create a big impact.
There is only one Earth. Let us protect her.
Hi, I'm Justin C., representing the grade 9 class that prepared videos on SDG initiatives that tackled some of the following topics that you will witness today. In the eyes of the frontliners, an advocacy on frontliner sentiments and perspectives regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, and raising people's awareness regarding their misconceptions and myths about LGBT plus community. These topics are timely because people today have to realize that we must change our perspectives and understandings, and these are also significant to our present reality since it has been a problem all over the globe from newspapers to social media. On behalf of Grade 9 community, I am proud to present these SDG initiatives.
My name is Aidan Angelo Sugi Guevara. I'm a 9th grade student of Benedictine International School. Today, my group and I will present our SDG project titled In the Eyes of the Frontliners, an advocacy on frontliners' perspectives and sentiments about the COVID-19 pandemic. The reason why we picked this topic is because our frontliners in the Philippines have been fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic ever since the first lockdown happened. So we decided to interview 5 to 6 frontliners so we get to learn their stories and their perspectives as frontliners from dentists, nurses, and etc. So we hope you get to learn something in your video, and we hope that you enjoy our video. Thank you.
Community quarantine is hereby imposed in the entire of Metro Manila. And in other areas, the LGUs are advised to abide by the following guidelines, imposing localized community quarantine in the respective jurisdiction. For Manila, may ayaw namin gamitin yan, pero kasi takot kayo sabihin lockdown. But it's a lockdown. There is no struggle of power here. Walang away dito, walang gera. It's just a matter of protecting and defending you from COVID-19.
Well, it's stressful, it's scary, and at the same time, you do find it rewarding because you're there in the front lines making sure that these patients receive the best care possible.
Following the CDC guidelines and the basic hospital practices, we have this so-called 5 moments of hygiene practices. But with this pandemic, I highly recommend to wash your hands as often as you can.
Social distancing or physical distancing means keeping a safe space between yourself to other people which are not from your household. To practice social distancing, you must at least keep 6 feet away from other people, and the combination of preventive action like wearing masks, hand hygiene like hand rub or washing your hands, and especially avoid touching your face when you're outside and when your hands are not clean.
When people are no longer practicing social distancing, it bothers me because the fact is, this virus is not under control yet.
When you now think of what's going to happen after this pandemic, you are already so used to being not too close to the people around you, that when somebody does get in your personal space, you're going to be scared because you don't know what they're carrying, right? So I think this pandemic has made us more aware of our surroundings.
Due to COVID, many Filipinos lost their jobs. For instance, if you work in construction, hospitality, or restaurant industry.
The pandemic has affected us personally, professionally, and mentally. Our ways of communicating, dealing, and showing our love to our family and loved ones has changed.
Well, as long as we're practicing the social distancing and we're wearing a mask, that plays a big part in preventing the spread of COVID-19. But I also believe that there is a vaccine out, and I think the more and more the vaccine is out and people it's available to people, I highly suggest you do get the vaccine.
In your perspective, what do you think is the support that you need from the government and from the people? We need as much financial support that we can get from the government. It is also important to be able to acquire vaccines as soon as they become available.
Number one, the people is just to follow abide by the rules of the public health system, especially here in Canada. And for the government is just to really listen to your people and just, I know that you need to balance the people and economy, but it's just keeping the safety of your people to stop the spread of COVID-19, as it's been already over a year now since COVID-19 hit and this pandemic started. I believe that the government is doing all they can to prevent this from happening, but it's us as the citizens and us as the people to make sure that we follow the rules and we stick to the restrictions and we just flatten that curve.
And this ends our SDG presentation. Our SDG presentation is about the sentiments and perspectives of the frontliners regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. I would highly thank my fellow groupmates and the fellow frontliners we've interviewed while making this project. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope that you get to learn something from it. Stay safe and have a great day. Thank you for watching.
Hi, we are Group 4 from Grade 9. Our topic is The Myths and Misconceptions About the LGBTQ+, by Justin Arcana, Deichan Lee, Monty Caras, Mark Bueno, and Frank Iturralde. Let us move on to Justin with the info.
Let us talk about the myths and misconceptions. A lot of us maybe know what the LGBTQ+ is, but not a lot of people truly understand them. Some might say being LGBTQ+ is unnatural or abnormal, but those are just myths and misconceptions. You may be asking, why do we need to learn more about them? You see, the LGBTQ+ has been facing a lot of discrimination then until now. We believe that giving more people awareness about them will lessen LGBTQ+ discrimination. Because LGBTQ+ discrimination has been a problem for a long time now, and discrimination against others we don't fully understand is what is holding us back from being a more open-minded and aware and accepting society. The first misconception is that being LGBTQ+ is that it is abnormal. And yes, they may be different, but just because it is different doesn't mean it's abnormal. In fact, there has been proof that animals have homosexual behavior such as dolphins, lions, penguins, and even insects. In fact, there is a storybook based on a true story about penguins in New York who fell in love and adopted a male baby penguin. So basically, it is not abnormal. It's something actually very natural. The second misconception is that being LGBTQ plus is a choice. This to us is the most common because there are a lot of people that say, so why or when did you choose to be gay? Even though it is not their choice to choose their preferences and orientation. People of the LGBTQ plus describe it as a deeply ingrained attraction that can't be simply be shut off and redirected. So to put it simply, we cannot change something that is uncontrollable, and we cannot just choose our preferences and orientation. So it is not really a choice. The third misconception is that it is a mental illness and it can be cured. This is most likely the oldest misconception because there were documentaries and studies back in the 1890s treating LGBTQ plus as mentally ill and ways it can be cured. So, how is it harmful? According to the Strong Family Alliance, it is flawed, outdated, destroys self-confidence, promotes self-hatred, stops one's self-acceptance, and according to the American Psychological Association, such treatment is highly discouraged. The fourth misconception is that children cannot be LGBTQ+. And believe it or not, there are people who say they are too young to be LGBTQ+. Or isn't that too young? But the truth is, this isn't really the case. The truth is, according to VIU, that they might not identify their gender identity yet. Many adults report that their children had a sense of difference from others. So yes, it is proven that they are signs early as 6 to 12 years old, and we need to educate them more about this. We believe it is better to teach children more about this because teenagers these days still struggle to find their gender identity and orientation. The fifth and last misconception is that LGBTQ plus can't make good parents and teachers. This is a misconception that got many sociologists debated about whether a child with LGBTQ plus parents can be harmful or not. To put it to short, the orientation and gender doesn't matter. It's more on how the parents parent. So, instead of believing these myths and misconceptions, it is better for us to research more on things and surface our assumptions. It is our job as people to understand and become more aware and progress as more caring and open-minded society.
Hi, I'm Clay, representing the Grade 8 class that prepared videos on SDG initiatives that tackled some of the following topics that you will witness today. A social research on how the pandemic has changed the home entertainment trends, telemedicine as an effective alternative, access to affordable healthcare during the recent pandemic in the Philippines, and advocacy research on how cyberbullying affects teenagers. These topics are timely because the pandemic and quarantine have gone on for more than a year now. These are significant to our present reality since the pandemic has changed everyone's lives and behavior. On behalf of the Grade 8 community, I am proud to present these SDG initiatives.
Hello, I am Kia Chan, and this is my presentation about my virtual posters. I am going to be talking about my virtual posters which is related to my SDG performance task. My SDG performance task is about entertainment trends during the pandemic and how it can help the economy and the people. Let us now talk about the virtual posters. The first virtual poster is about entertainment trends. Entertainment trends is the popular entertainment during a specific time. The poster shows the different kinds of entertainment trends there can be, like music, theater, sports, video games, and many more. During the pandemic, many people were forced to stay at home. While many people were staying at home, they got bored. The people started to look for home entertainment to lessen their boredom. The entertainment trend started to change from outdoor entertainment like traveling, watching movies in cinemas and concerts into home entertainment like video games, shows, and online shopping. At the same time, there were people who have lost their jobs. The idea to help show that entertainment trends can help guide those who lost their jobs as new opportunities. Opportunities like becoming a video editor for YouTubers or becoming a game developer. The second poster is about why is entertainment important. Entertainment is important because it can help make your mood better. Other examples you can see in the poster is advertising, entertainment services, publishing news, and many more. During the pandemic, many people became anxious and very worried. With the use of entertainment, it can help lessen the worries and anxiety people are feeling. Entertainment can also be used to help spend more time in calming down and relaxing. Ever since the pandemic has happened, people lost their jobs and were quarantined. With more people forced to stay at home, they started to resort to entertainment. The entertainment trend started to change into home entertainment. The two posters show how we can use entertainment to help adapt to the situation we are facing, which is the pandemic and the quarantine. The first posters show how understanding the entertainment trends can help support the people who lost their jobs and grant new opportunities. Opportunities like becoming a video editor and game developer. The second poster is about why is entertainment important. Entertainment is important because it can help people gain information, advertise, entertainment services, news about what is happening, and many more. It can help people improve their mental health during the quarantine and pandemic also. I hope that in this report, I was able to introduce the idea of using entertainment in another way than just using for entertaining people. This is Kia, and thank you for watching my presentation.
As the entire world is currently grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic, my investigative study on telemedicine as a safer, cheaper, and easier alternative access to healthcare by Filipino patients, particularly those suffering from chronic and long-term illnesses, is indeed timely and relevant. As hospitals and healthcare facilities are being overwhelmed with COVID patients, other people who also require medical care can consult with their healthcare providers via telemedicine or online consultation.
Well, this is fairly new now that we had this pandemic with us now. This is how we communicate with the patients via online or through the phone. It's a consultation with the patients so that they have a direct communication with the doctors using the phone or online services. Pandemic, no. Formally, I wasn't practicing telemedicine, although patients would call me or consult online, no. But I'm not really very comfortable with it. Very important to the doctor is face-to-face interaction with the patients, because not only do you see physical examination practices, but also The patient will give you clues, well, physical cues into what they're really feeling when you're face-to-face. So as a practitioner, I would rather look at the patient as a whole than just, focusing on just one problem. I think it is an important tool as a triage. What does this triage mean? It means that you can be able to determine which patient needs urgent care, immediate care, or those patients that you can just go to the outpatient department and talk to a practitioner. No? Sa tanong mong yan, tingin ko magagamit pa rin natin ng telemedicine moving forward kasi right now nga it's an evolving platform. It's mostly audio. During the start of the pandemic, it was actually chat, via chat. Tapos later on, DOH had this facility na ang ginagawa na namin audio calls, which was easier. Sometimes you have to know specific questions to ask to be able to get the answers you need. Kasi yung ibang mga pasyente very vague ang answers. So, you really have to be very clear in your questions so that the patient will know how to answer it. My main concern is to be able to help the patient. That's my main concern. And my only concern is to... And this telemedicine, because of this, I was able to reach patients as far as I had a patient from Mindanao. So as far as Mindanao to as near as siguro dito lang in Pasig. No, I have patients na ganun kalayo in terms of locality. No? So I think, yes, it is a success because I was able to help these people. Kasi right now, most Filipinos have handheld devices. So marami na merong cellphone kahit na mga sa urban tour natin, lahat halos may cellphone na. So that's not a problem. And the telemedicine practice that we do, it's audio calls. So napapatch in kami kasi ganun na ginagawa ng government eh. We're private institutions like some big hospitals, ang telemedicine nila, you need an app to be able to talk to the doctor. And some are not capable. DOH nga has patched in na audio calls, it's easier for them. Limitation of telemedicine, yung technology. It's a useful triage system. So you'll be able to see which patient really needs to go to the hospital, which patients are pwedeng, sige, punta na lang kayo bukas, hindi naman importante ngayon na pumunta agad. No? Yung mga urgent care and the mga immediate care-based patients, you'll be able to parang triage them. I think it's a useful tool, especially for those in far-flung areas na nahirapan sila to get a doctor. No? Magandang tool ito na ipagpatuloy ng government.
As an obstetrician gynecologist, I cater to women who are pregnant and any problem with the reproductive organs of the women. For me, it's still face-to-face because you cannot assess a patient if you cannot see him or do physical examination to him or her physically. You cannot check the patient physically through Zoom or online. Okay. All you are getting there are the symptoms, but physically you're not able to check on the patient.
In conclusion, telemedicine is indeed a viable option and a must-have for Filipino patients to access proper, safer, cheaper, and effective healthcare during this pandemic. It would help prioritize COVID patients while still giving attention to those with minor and major health problems.
I am Armel Janelle Christine Baryu Bondok.
I am Rafael Lorenzo A. Mendoza.
I am Clay Kinsisi Tiozon.
And I am Kaiser Marie Gentes.
Today, we are presenting our advocacy for our SDG topic, an advocacy research on how cyberbullying affects teenagers.
We chose this topic in order to help spread this cause more, especially in these times where everyone will be indoors most of the time, and using the internet.
Also, ever since the internet age began, cyberbullying has been an issue, and it's only become more relevant as time goes by. We hope that our message comes through in this presentation.
Cyberbullying is very rampant, especially today at the height of internet and social media. A single post, comment, or mention can lead to threats and abuse from netizens. A single mistake will lead to people condemning you and your whole character. The worst part of it all is that it's easier for them to harass and leave a hurtful comment and go while the victim carries those words for life.
In a survey conducted by the researchers, the teenage respondents believe that cyberbullying is bullying someone online. The bullies use electronic devices such as computers, phones, and more. They proceed to bully these teens using social media platforms such as Facebook and more. Saying mean things affect each teenager's mental state and spread more negativity.
This is an issue everyone across the world is affected by, and so this issue should be resolved at once, because no one deserves to be treated that way. Not to mention the number of teenagers committing suicide due to cyberbullying.
Social medias try to combat cyberbullying with several functions. You can block the cyberbully to stop their posts from showing up, you can report them for their behavior, or you can even ask for the post to be removed from the site. There are also a few other functions depending on the social media you're on.
Both verbal and cyberbullying harass and abuse victims through the use of hurtful words. However, it differs in the proximity. Verbal bullying is done face to face, while in cyberbullying, people from everywhere around the world can be involved and harass you virtually through the use of social media sites.
Bullying is indeed a form of bullying that is done online. It has the same effects like bullying. The teenagers still experience anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Victims of cyberbullying often succumb to these stress-related conditions and erode their feelings of happiness and contentment, which may lead to suicidal thoughts, trauma, and self-harm.
Once people get cyberbullied, they have this fear of being bullied again. It is either the bully threatened them or they just feel like they are not safe anymore on the internet. So they start being afraid and in turn they cannot find the courage within themselves to report the bully or the incident.
Bullying can cause someone to feel like they're worthless. They might feel that other people are better than them, or they might feel some other negative feelings. They could end up lashing out because of those feelings, and in some cases, they themselves become a bully.
There are different reasons for bullying. It could be because they like the feeling of preying on the weak. Other reasons involve popularity. Some teens do it because they don't want to hang out with the unpopular kids. And for other personal problems, or maybe they are just lashing out on other teens.
A survey that the researchers conducted asked some teenagers what they believed were the reasons for bullying. Most believed the bully only does it out of jealousy or that they had a dark past. Another large portion said the bully might just be insecure or was bullied in their past.
If someone is being bullied, don't just ignore it. There are so many possible ways to help stop the bully. And of course, don't encourage the bully to do it more because you think it's a funny joke or something. That can do a lot of mental and physical damage to the victim.
People would just say that they support anti-bullying, but when it comes to some people getting bullied in front of them, some don't really act because they themselves are afraid of getting bullied, so in turn they don't act on it. So the person being bullied will be helpless.
Not helping the victim may lead them to having suicidal thoughts and trauma. It may also lead them to doing self-harm. Their self-esteem and confidence will go down, and depression and anxiety will occur. A lot more other stress-related conditions may occur.
We should all be responsible netizens and abide by the rules of netiquette. We as bystanders should not fuel and add flames to an issue spread online. Any post that we encounter which bully or harass people should be reported and deleted. We should all be responsible for any comment and post that we make public in our social media profiles.
The whole point of this advocacy is to spread the agenda against cyberbullying. So many teens suffer every day because of cyberbullying, and we want more people to know that. We want people to know what to do if they ever stumble upon someone being bullied, or even when they themselves are being bullied. The more people that are aware, the less it will happen.
That is it for advocacy presentation about this SDG topic.
To reiterate, our topic is an advocacy research on how cyberbullying affects teenagers.
Thank you for watching our presentation, and we hope you stay safe. Goodbye!
Goodbye!
Bye!
Hello, I'm JJ, representing the grade 7 class that prepared videos on SDG initiatives that tackled some of the following topics that you will witness today. Number 1. Promoting good health and well-being in modern times. Number 2. Gender equality and rights to marriage of LGBTQ+ in the Philippines. And number 3. The effects of COVID-19 on the fast food restaurant labor market in the Philippines. These topics are timely because of the events that are transpiring throughout the world today. Health is at the forefront of our lives. COVID-19 has literally dictated the way that we live, and awareness is rising regarding gender equality. On behalf of the grade 7 community, I am proud to present these SDG initiatives. Thank you.
Hello, I am Aliyah Tesoro, a grade 7 student from the Benedictine International School. I am also the researcher for this SDG project. The topic I have chosen among the SDG goals is the gender equality of the LGBT+ community as well as the rights to marriage. I conducted an interview along with 2 other interviewees who agreed to participate in my interview and shared their answers and opinions regarding the issues surrounding the community. Let me introduce the interviewees. The first interviewee is Cookie Monster, who is homosexual. The second is Pochako, who is bisexual. Please note that these are not their real names and I will be blurring their faces due to privacy reasons.
People who don't align with the social norm of being attracted to simply being attracted to the opposite gender, like men liking women and women liking men.
Well, for me, I think the LGBT plus community is outspoken. Parang they already gained their voice to voice out their opinions, their stand. Okay, and I think that given the numbers of the LGBTs that we see, parang they're already strength in numbers. Okay, although there are still instances that meron pa rin mga harassment na nangyayari and inequalities, I guess now it's different since people are more standing up. Okay, parang the fear is less compared how it was before. Ganon.
For starters, I think same-sex marriage should be allowed. Although I understand that the Philippines is a Christian country, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian wedding per se, but rather just a wedding in terms of legality, because we all know that marriage also comes with different benefits in terms of from the government, of course, being actually considered as legally having children, and then being able to write in legal documents that you're married comes with different, like let's say to be specific, tax benefits and all that.
I'm looking at it the legal state, kung ano yung nawawala or hindi ma-attain ng isang LGBT compared sa on the perspective na it's a marriage that 2 people needs to be together. It's not that. It's more on the benefits and how we can attain the same laws or we can attain same benefits that a normal marriage would get. Parang ganun. For example, the dependency pagdating sa mga SSS, sa PhilHealth, sa tax, meron agad siyang inequality kasi these types of people can't be married legally. So paano nila makukuha yung benefit na yon?
well, other people tend to treat you differently. They can distance themselves, especially if they're not comfortable with that fact. Now, as for the positive aspects, I mean, we still do live in the modern era, so a lot more people, or at least some people, tend to be more accepting, more open, even those with the older generation than I come from. And I've noticed that the newer generations, they tend to be more accepting and more open-minded.
For me, wala naman ako masyadong, especially when it comes to work or when it comes to um, other opportunities. Kasi, kasi I dress as a woman pa rin, female pa rin ako tingnan, and all those. It's just that I'm attracted to a different gender. But when it comes to my partner, sa mga nagiging partner ko, and kasama ko kunwari yung partner ko, that's when I usually experience inequalities. Okay? Like, we're being judged as parang magkapatid or something like that, na maybe I'm just infatuated with the idea, ganun. But, personally, as ako lang, wala naman ako na-experience na ganun. Usually, kapag kasama ko lang yung partner ko. Ganyan.
That question, I do wish I could just say and tell people just to be themselves, but it really is a case-to-case basis. You know, like some people might have very devout Christian parents, for example. Some people might have more understanding parents. So you can't really give a general advice. But I guess one thing that could apply to all would be just acceptance with yourself. You don't really have to please everyone. And it always starts with self-love. So just love yourself, accept yourself. There's no need to hate what you are. If you know what you are, if you're confused, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Come out when you're ready. Okay, it's okay to not feel ready to come out yet, na to keep it to yourself. It's normal na you'll be in that shell pa. But once you get the strength to do so, know that there will be consequences to that action. You could be judged, you could be treated unequally. However, always think na what will be more important to you. Kung are you ready to face these consequences? Kung mag-out ka, or kung hindi ka pa ready doon, then maybe don't muna. Ganon. And for those people na are already out and still facing adversities and still experiencing inequalities, I guess what we can do now is to work as a community, to be as a team, and still voice out, stand up for ourselves.
I definitely learned more about the LGBT plus community during this interview. I got to gain new perspective based off the interviewees' answers and was lucky enough to hear personal stories regarding their orientation and equality they experience.
Last year, March, the President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, declared to put the whole Luzon and other parts of the nation under enhanced community quarantine to control the spread of the coronavirus. Later on, the World Health Organization stated that it's already a pandemic. There are a lot of changes not only to the Philippines but to the whole world. The basic rule is to stay at home, especially children and elders. The education system was suspended and transformed from face-to-face class to online class. The public transportation, some business establishments, recreation and leisure temporarily stopped their operation. Even fast food industry was greatly affected by the pandemic as well as their labor market.
I am conducting a study on the effects of COVID-19 on the fast food restaurant labor market in the Philippines. I wanted to know what are the changes that occur to store operation and their employees during this time of pandemic. So I distributed some questionnaires to several fast food workers to get their perception and opinion about their current situation. The first question that I asked was about experiencing layoff or forced leave because of COVID-19. Two of them answered no, but other respondents experienced layoff. Because of the pandemic and government safety protocols, number of customers dropped down. So some fast food restaurants really imposed layoff to some of their employees. Next question was about the differences that the workers experience in terms of store policies performance and their customers before and during this time of pandemic. Most of the respondents answered in the same way. The stores have strict compliance on health and safety measures. Workers should wear safety gears, especially masks and face shields, check body temperature, and always sanitize. Also, low sales volume compared before. Sales volume and transaction count fluctuates during lockdown because of the low number of customers. This time, fast food restaurants are doing digital and cashless transactions to avoid human physical actions and using delivery options through delivery apps. So they are starting to cope up. Another question is about what health measures they are doing this time to protect their employees as well as customers this time of pandemic. The Interagency Task Force Against Emerging Infectious Diseases approved the health protocols for dine-in operations of restaurants. Based on the guidelines on minimum health protocols, restaurants should observe the following equipment and systems. Properly sanitize tables and chairs after each customer's use. Distancing of tables and chairs to at least 1 meter apart on all sides. Face-to-face sitting allowed only with proper dividers. Visible floor markings for guidance of clients in queuing and proper ventilation in the establishment. When customers dine in, the stores should provide visible sanitizer, check customers' temperature, having the health declaration form to be filled up, and having physical distancing. The last question is how they see the business moving forward despite the pandemic. They answered about social acceptance and adapting to the new normal to withstand and survive the fast food industry. With the help of employers, employees, and the people's effort and patience, this situation could be overcome. There would be some difficulties might come, but it would surmount with hard work. I conclude that there are a lot of effects of the COVID-19 not only on the fast food restaurants labor market, but also to the other factors of it and their consumers. Fast food restaurants and the customers become more aware and stricter in health and safety policy for the benefit of everybody. I got impressed with the efforts and patience that they are doing to overcome the loss that they experienced. I hope many people will know and recognize this, and they will endeavor to make a better future.
Alright, let's talk about health and well-being. When you hear those words, you either think that they're important or essential to our life. But first, let's define health and well-being. Health and well-being is the achievement and maintenance of physical fitness and mental stability. But think about it. Do we really take care of our health and well-being? Do we even consider our health and well-being when we're eating our favorite canned food or eating at a fast food restaurant? And that brings us to our first topic. Junk foods are unhealthy processed foods that are high in calories or fat, with little important forms of nutritional value like dietary fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. It's an increasingly popular food choice to grab on the go. These have a lot of effects on the modern lifestyle. Yes, junk foods are appealing and tasty, but they have zero benefits. If one eats it too much, these can have adverse effects on their body. To name a few, junk foods can cause obesity, lower your insulin resistance, cause type 2 diabetes, and it can increase addiction. And junk foods are one of the many factors that can affect our health and well-being. Let's move on to the next factor. There are different kinds of pollution: air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, radioactive pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, and thermal pollution. As I said, there are different kinds of pollution, but we won't be able to cover them all here. So let's focus on only 3 that many people encounter in their daily lives. So let's start with air pollution. This can exist at all scales, from local to global, and these include gases and solid particles. These can affect you in your town or city, and even your own home. The most common source of air pollution include mobile sources like cars, buses, planes, and trucks. And here's water pollution. These can affect surface water, such as rivers and lakes, soil moisture and groundwater in aquifers, and the oceans. The actions of the water cycle connect all these different reservoirs of water. For example, a polluted river will discharge into the ocean and it can damage the marine environment. However, the volume of water can disperse and dilute the pollutant so that its worst effects are only felt near the mouth of the river. Lastly, land pollution. Solid waste can cause land pollution. A collection of solid wastes in one place or scattered around is unsightly, and it can smell bad to you as you pass by. This is also linked to water pollution. Liquid waste that contain toxic chemicals or pathogenic microorganisms on the surface of the land can seep slowly into the soil and may percolate down to contaminate groundwater, which can affect people using springs or wells in the area. Possible sources include open defecation, pit latrines, or leaking storage containers for industrial chemicals and wastes. Now that we're familiar with some factors that can affect our health and well-being, how can we avoid it and how can we maintain it? As we know, junk food is filled with artificial and potentially harmful ingredients. But maintaining good health is still possible if we plan our diet and daily life carefully. For example, if we try to include organic foods in our diet instead of eating processed foods like spam. We should also take extra precaution to prevent inhaling foul air or pollution by staying indoors or by wearing a face mask if you're going out. Maintaining our health and well-being is especially important during the pandemic, so try to keep to your regular routines as much as possible and maintain a daily schedule for yourself, including sleeping, meals, and activities. Stay socially connected, speak to loved ones and people you trust every day, or as much as possible, using the telephone, video calls, or messaging, through writing letters, etc. Reduce long periods of sitting and set up a daily routine that includes at least 30 minutes of exercise. By doing this, we're maintaining weight, which is important for sustaining our health, and it benefits our immune system too. This way, we can promote good health and well-being in modern times. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, everyone.
Dear Ben, as you start a new journey, you will break away with what you come to understand about the world. There is so much out there waiting for you. Worlds to be explored, people to meet, dreams to be fulfilled. It will be uncomfortable, and the uncertainty might even make you feel afraid. But it's okay. There will be people who will see the best in you even at first glance. And especially at times when you yourself doubt it. Choose to commit to your own growth. Be a student of life and discover a world of possibilities. There will be tests for sure, but let the people around you mirror your greatness. At the inmost cave of your own fears, you'll battle it out with your dragons, and a part of you will come to pass. But at that fleeting moment, something beautiful will emerge. Receive the gifts of your own labor, and with a grateful heart, celebrate your success. Honor what you have become, and give back. For your transformation is no longer just for your dreams, but for the world. Embrace what you are becoming. Be the grandest version of yourself. So go ahead, continue living your story. With love, Ben.